Alright. Yeah. I love you too. Alright. We're ready to go here. Okay, get that ready. Get that ready. Where is... Where to put that PSA? Trying to find where to put that. Where did I put that? Let's see. Oh, it's under PSA. Okay. It's under some scene. There it is. Alright. Let's get ready to rumble. Tonight, it's a worldwide pandemic, so what does that mean for entertainment? Let's find out on this edition of Multiverse Tonight. Ah, shit. Hold on. I didn't change my stream deck. There we go. Try it again. Alright, take two. Tonight, it's a worldwide pandemic, so what does that mean for entertainment? Let's find out on this edition of Multiverse Tonight. Comic books, sci-fi, fantasy, and more. If you're looking for a roundup of geeky news, you're in the right place. This is Multiverse Tonight. And here's your host, Thomas Townley. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 68 of Multiverse Tonight. I'm your host, Thomas Townley. Wow, what difference 2 weeks makes. To start off with, I hope this episode finds you well and safe, wherever in the world you are. 2 weeks ago, I was doing okay, the world was doing okay, and then the coronavirus breaks out and all hell breaks loose. Now, my family and I are just fine so far. Kansas has had a very kind of slow spread to the contagion so far. Just a lot of bare shelves at Walmart and Dollar General stores. But it's coming this way, and it's only a matter of time. Now, the people I really feel sorry for right now are your small store owners like comic book shops, the movie theater owners, the entertainers, the comic book creators, etc. People, do me a favor. Try to shop and support these people instead of buying massive quantities of toilet paper. Right now, we need entertainment to keep our minds off this world of other crap we found ourselves in. Before we start the news, let's take a quick PSA to learn what you should do with COVID 19.
COVID-19, better known as coronavirus, has spread throughout the world. Symptoms of this respiratory disease may include fever, cough, and shortness of breath. These symptoms may show up 2 to 14 days after exposure. If you are experiencing these symptoms and have come into contact or are in an area with an ongoing outbreak, please call a hotline and/or consult with a physician. Clean and disinfect high-touch surfaces. For more information, please visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. Thank you.
All right. We start the news with Star Wars. Disney, in order to be extra nice during this time of coronavirus, has released The Rise of Skywalker a few days early on digital. The film was supposed to have been released on March 27th, but was instead released on March 13th. It's available right now on Vudu, Apple TV, iTunes, Google Play, Fandango Now, and Amazon. Now you can get it in either HD or SD for $19.99 or the 4K version for $24.99. However, the digital release is missing something: deleted scenes. However, it does have the documentaries The Skywalker Legacy, Pasana Pursuit about the land speeder chase, Aliens in the Desert about the aliens in the desert scenes, Dio Key to the Past about Dio, Warwick and Son about Warwick Davis returning to the Ewok costume and cast of creatures, which is, well, pretty self-explanatory, and also the digital exclusive The Maestro's Finale about John Williams. Rosario Dawson has joined The Mandalorian Season 2 as fan-favorite Clone Wars character Ahsoka Tano. The character was Anakin Skywalker's Padawan in the Clone Wars animated series and had a role in the Rebels animated series. Season 2 is due out in October. Showrunner Damon Lindelof says he'd love to do something with Star Wars when he's not going to be blamed for ruining it. Speaking with fandom.com, he said, quote, at some point, but certainly not in the immediate future, I feel like I would love to do something in the Star Wars universe. Maybe a decade from now, when I would no longer be blamed for ruining it. That would be a hoot, unquote. I'd love to see what Lindelof would do with Star Wars. Might be very interesting. It would at least be something different. Now, let's go on to some Star Trek news. Yes, and we start Star Trek news with CBS and Simon Schuster, which has a new Star Trek Discovery novel in the pipeline, this time aimed at the Section 31 storyline. Star Trek Discovery Die Standing looks at the life of Emperor Philippa Georgiou after her exile into the regular Star Trek universe. The book will show how she transitioned into the Section 31 role and how her desire to either try to build a new empire or go into Section 31 whole heart is explored. The book will also see her cross paths with the third host of the Dax symbiont, Emily. Now, here's the synopsis, quote, no one in the history of histories has lost more than Philippa Georgiou, ruler of the Terran Empire. Forced to take refuge in the Federation's universe, she bides her time until Section 31, a rogue spy force within Starfleet, offers her a chance to work as their agent. She has no intention of serving under anyone else. Of course, her only interest is escape. But when a young Trill, Emily Dax, discovers a powerful interstellar menace, Georgiou recognizes it as a superweapon that escaped her grasp in her own universe. Escorted by a team sent by an untrusting Federation to watch over her, the Emperor journeys to a region forbidden to travelers. But will what she finds there end the threat, or give Agent Georgiou the means to create her empire anew? Kind of sounds interesting. I don't know about you. More book news. John Jackson Miller is the New York Times Discover. Hold on there. Sounds interesting. John Jackson Miller is the New York Times bestselling author of Star Trek Discovery, The Enterprise War, the acclaimed Star Trek Prey trilogy, and the novels Star Trek The Next Generation Takedown, Star Wars A New Dawn, Star Wars Kenobi, Star Wars Knight Errant, Star Wars Lost Tribe of the Sith, the collected stories, and 15 Star Wars graphic novels, as well as the original work Overdraft, The Orion Offensive. He's also working on the e-novella Star Trek Titan, Absent Enemies. A comics industry historian and analyst, he has written for franchises including Halo, Conan, Iron Man, Indiana Jones, Battlestar Galactica, Mass Effect, and The Simpsons. He lives in Wisconsin with his wife, 2 children, and far too many comic books. Unquote. Star Trek Discovery Die Standing goes on sale on July 14th. Maybe they should release that a few days early so we have something to distract ourselves. CNN Business says that one thing that helps CBS All Access stand out is Star Trek. Speaking with senior analyst Jeff Bach from the entertainment research firm Exhibitor Relations, Jeff told them, quote, Star Trek is as important to Viacom CBS as Star Wars is to Disney. Basically, it's a never-ending stream of content. Viacom CBS is trying to make the most of the Star Trek franchise, even saying on a recent earnings call that they are taking the franchise and, quote, extending it across the house, unquote. Julie McNamara, Executive VP of and Head of Programming for CBS All Access, has called it, quote, a great tentpole for us, unquote. Now, do you agree? I think I like it. I like Picard. I'm not so sure about all the rest of it. Still waiting for that cartoon series. Come on, cartoon series. By the way, now, if you're needing something fresh, some fresh Trek to watch, and you don't want to pay for all access, the Star Trek short treks are coming to Blu-ray and DVD in June. The collection of short subjects will have 9 of the episodes, including Runaway, Calypso, The Brightest Star, The Escape Artist, Q&A, The Trouble with Edward, Astronaut, and Ephraimidot, and The Girl Who Made the Stars. The Children of Mars episode is the only one not in the collection, probably to be included on the home release of Star Trek Picard. Also included is some documentary features, each about a particular episode. Also included is a making about the short treks and 2 commentaries on Runaway and Ask Not. The disc will be released on June 2nd. Star Trek Picard has hired writer and podcaster Mark Bernardin as a supervising producer on Season 2. Bernardin, who, besides being Kevin Smith's co-host on his podcast Fat Man Beyond, has written on Sci-Fi's Alphas and Hulu's Castle Rock. Bernardin isn't new to Star Trek, having worked as an intern on Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Picard showrunner Michael Chabon would love to make an MCU Adam Warlock movie. Now, this news came from an Instagram Q&A session when he was asked if there were any superheroes he connected with. This is not the first time that he's expressed interest in Adam Warlock. In a 2012 interview with the New York Times, he also mentioned that Warlock would be a dream project for him. Come on, Marvel. Why not, Disney? Why not give him the chance? Discovery star Sonequa Martin Green is expecting. Discovery star Sonequa Martin Green is expecting. The actress revealed this on Instagram with a photo of herself and her husband, Kendrick Green, and their son with the caption, adding another passenger to the green train. All aboard, little lady. This train is fueled by love, and we're already overflowing with it for you. Unquote. Now, Star Trek Discovery right now is currently non-production, having wrapped on the 3rd season back in February. Creation Entertainment has announced a big get for the 19th annual Star Trek convention in Las Vegas. Kelsey Grammer. This will be his first ever convention appearance. Mr. Grammer might be best known to some as Frasier Crane from Cheers and Frasier, or Sideshow Bob from The Simpsons. Ah, Sideshow Bob! But to Trek fans, he's known for his appearance as Captain Bateson in the Season 5 Next Gen episode Cause and Effect. It'd be very interesting to see if the con happens. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. As the coronavirus has continued to spread around the world, shaking hands as a form of greeting has become, ill-advised. So what to replace it with? Now, some fans, including some lawmakers, have suggested a greeting familiar to Star Trek fans everywhere, the Vulcan greeting. For those of you who don't know, that would be a raised hand with your palm to your greetee, with your fingers splayed between your ring and middle fingers. Now, an attending physician at a closed-door meeting of the House Democratic Caucus even suggested it. So, while we wait for this pandemic to end, shall we enlighten others? Live long and prosper. Now, let's go on to the geek news. So, let's quickly go down on a list of almost every production that's either shut down or been delayed due to the COVID-19 pandemic, shall we? We have The Witcher, The Handmaid's Tale, the Amazon Lord of the Rings series, the Goonies pilot, Loki, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision, Supernatural, Snowpiercer, Stranger Things, The Walking Dead shows, Batwoman, Why the Last Man, The Wheel of Time, The Flash, Superman and Lois, Riverdale, Carnival Row, Supergirl, Lucifer, Pennyworth, The Orville, and a lot of pilots. Now, on the film side, the Avatar sequels, Matrix 4, Uncharted, Fantastic Beasts 3, The Batman, Jurassic World Dominion, Shang-Chi, The Little Mermaid, Nightmare Alley, Home Alone, yeah, they're making another one, Peter Pan and Wendy, Shrunk, and Mission Impossible 7. Now, a lot of these have only been listed as shutting down for just a couple of weeks. Some even longer. So, I guess we'll hear about these coming up and down as things change. So watch this space. Now, to complicate matters for movie fans in the United States, AMC, Regal, and every other theater chain has shut down. AMC will be shut down for 6 to 12 weeks, so the summer movie season is pretty much gone. Even the Razzies ceremony was canceled. Instead, the awards were announced via YouTube video. The Razzies were supposed to be handed out on March 14th. Winner for the Worst Picture was Cats. Worst Actor went to John Travolta in The Fanatic, as well as Trading Paint. Hilary Duff took home the Worst Actress for The Haunting of Sharon Tate. James Corden won Worst Supporting Actor for his role in Cats, and he joined Rebel Wilson, who got the Worst Supporting Actress award for Cats. Worst Screen Combo went to just any two people on the screen in Cats. Tom Hooper won for Worst Director for Cats, and also took away Worst Screenplay with Lee Hall for Cats. Rambo Last Blood won Worst Remake, Ripoff, or Sequel, as well as Worst Reckless Disregard for Human Life and Public Property. But, all's not bad news, as Eddie Murphy won the Razzie Redeemer Award for Dolomite Is My Name. They all deserve what they got. Admit it. Now, right now, an estimated 120,000 entertainment industry crew jobs have been lost by this pandemic. But there is help. Netflix has created a $100 million relief fund for the hundreds of thousands suddenly without work in Hollywood, as productions have shut down for the outbreak. In a letter on Netflix's company blog, the chief content officer said, quote, "This community has supported Netflix through the good times, and we want to help them through these hard times, especially while governments are still figuring out what economic support they will provide. Most of the fund will go towards support for the hardest hit workers on our own productions around the world. This is in addition to the 2 weeks' pay we've already committed to the crew and cast on productions we were forced to suspend last week," unquote. Now, the money will not just be for Netflix productions, but the industry as a whole. Netflix is also donating to the SAG-AFTRA COVID-19 Disaster Fund and the Motion Picture and Television Fund and the Actors Fund Emergency Assistance in the United States, as well as another $1 million split between the AFC and Fondation de Artistes. Good deal. We'll get past this. Now, while we wait for the Orville Season 3, Dark Horse Comics has announced a Season 2.5 comic miniseries made up of two-issue series. The first is called Launch Day, quote, in which seemingly hostile krill ships cross into Union space and the Orville intercepts. Captain Mercer learns that they are en route to a planet that left the Union decades ago under mysterious circumstances. Scans have discovered a moon-sized construct above the planet, and the krill intend a preemptive strike against the presumed weapon. But is it? Unquote. Orville executive producer David A. Goodman will be on writing duties, joined by artist David Cabeza and colorist Michael Ataya, and this will be out on June 3rd. Now, as kind of mentioned before, box office was just non-existent. The American box office officially hit a new low this past weekend. 0, as in nothing, as in all theaters have been shuttered and nothing new is released, so 0. Not even any official reporting. According to Box Office Mojo, the final box office report was on Thursday the 19th with a total of $143,641 for all 36 films in just 233 theaters. Sad. And some more sad news. Actor Lyle Waggoner has passed away. The actor, best known for the Carol Burnett Show and the 1980s Wonder Woman series, died of illness at his home on the 17th of March. Waggoner started out as an announcer on the Carol Burnett Show, but soon became an actor in the sketches. After leaving the Carol Burnett Show, he got hired for the role of Colonel Steve Trevor Jr. on the 1975 Wonder Woman series, where he worked alongside Linda Carter for 4 years. Now, among his other acting credits are Charlie's Angels, Happy Days, Mork and Mindy, The Golden Girls, Murder, She Wrote, Ellen, The Naked Truth, and That 70s Show. His last on-screen appearance was in 2005's The War Home, but in 2017, he made a special appearance on the Carol Burnett Show's 50th anniversary special. Lyle Waggoner passed away in his home after a long illness. He was 84 years old. And now, let's end with something to soothe the soul. A little moment zen, if you will. Patrick Stewart reading Shakespeare's Sonnet number 116. Take it away, sir.
Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove, oh no. It is an ever-fixed mark that looks on tempests and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. Love's not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out, even to the edge of doom. If this be error, let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove, oh no. It is an ever-fixed mark that looks on tempests and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth's unknown, his height be taken, love's not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out, even to the edge of doom. If this be error, and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved.
Thank you, Patrick. And that brings us to the end of the sci-fi news. Now, please check us out on our social media. We're at Twitter at Multiverse Tom. We're also on Facebook and Instagram as well. And if you'd like to contribute some money, please visit mtpodcast.com to go to our coffee, Patreon, and now glow.fm as well. Or just go to Multiverse Tonight and hit the support me link at the top of the page. And be sure to visit multiversetonight.com and check out the affiliate marketplace links, the link to our TeePublic store, our show notes, and so much more. And if you're a subscriber, be sure to share us with your friends. And if you're brand new to the show, please be sure to subscribe and leave us with some feedback and let us know how we're doing. Special thanks to Shane Ivers for our intro music and Loba Loco for our outro theme music. Thanks for watching the comic book edition of Multiverse Tonight. We'll be back in just 2 weeks with the sci-fi edition. Now, please exit the universe in an orderly fashion. Good night. Multiverse Tonight is a production of Half Big Genre Productions. Copyright 2020. All rights reserved. Pausing recording. Mini deck. Make sure we didn't shit the bed. With COVID-19.
These symptoms may show up 2 to 14 days.
To the past, love to participate as a star and the star Bob for suggested that Hammer movie James Court worst direction, and we want the actors to discover the moon 1980 in these show. On the Fierce side.
Or bends with the remover to remove, oh no. It is an ever whose if this be error, net alteration, tempest not, time's fool. If this be error,
I think it played a couple times over and over.
Thank you, Patrick.
I'll have to edit
And
that.
that brings us to the end. Patreon and now intro music, and please reserve.
What happened with that, honey?
I think the Patrick Stewart clip played a couple times. It's only a minute and 47 in length. I think it played a couple times through, but I can edit that out.
Oh, it wasn't real long?
No.
No.
Trouble is, I can't hear.
Oh, you can't hear it?
When a video like that plays, I can't hear the video.
Oh, you can't?
No, I just see it mouth move.
Oh.
So. Alright, let's...
Will it be hard to edit that?
No.
No?
Alright. Tonight, comic book shops are depending on you. Find out more on this edition of Multiverse Tonight. Comic books, sci-fi, fantasy, and more. If you're looking for a roundup of geeky news, you're in the right place. This is Multiverse Tonight. And here's your host, Thomas Townley. Welcome, everyone, to episode 69 of Multiverse Tonight. I'm your host, Thomas Townley. Now, it's very different these past 2 weeks, isn't it? Now, if you've read the last episode, this will sound pretty much almost exactly the same, so go ahead, feel free to skip ahead. But for those of you who only listen to one episode or the other, well, things are kind of different now. It's 2 weeks. 2 weeks after things were normal. I'm doing okay. Now coronavirus has not spread very far into Kansas. We only have a handful of cases, but it's sooner or later going to sweep through here. Right now, there's just a lot of bare stores at your Walmart grocery stores. So please do us a favor and go and help your small store owners wherever you can, especially comic book stores right now. They're having a delayed time. The city of Wichita, which is to the west of me, it's the largest city around, has just gone under a stay-at-home order. So comic book shops, yeah, I doubt those are considered essential. But if you can go to your comic book store, go there and help them out. Buy something, whatever you can. Instead of going out and buying massive amounts of toilet paper, honestly, people, I don't know if you in other countries have had this exact problem. Probably not. You guys got smart, around the world and got into bidets and things like that. America got into toilet paper. But we have had store shelves wiped clean of any paper products, and this is not like something that we export or not something that we import into the United States. all the paper products in the United States are made in the United States. It's not like we're going to suddenly run out because we're not getting any from overseas. I don't get it, but it is what it is. It'll calm down. Right now, we're just trying to ride this out. So let's try to be distracting a little bit, and I'll give you a little bit of news. Now, before we get into the news proper here, let's take a moment for those of you who have not seen the PSA I ran in the last episode. For those of you, hit your skip button a couple of times, get past it. But here you go. This will help you out.
COVID-19, better known as coronavirus, has spread throughout the world. Symptoms of this respiratory disease may include fever, cough, and shortness of breath. These symptoms may show up 2 to 14 days after exposure. If you are experiencing these symptoms and have come into contact or are in an area with an ongoing outbreak, please call a hotline and/or consult with a physician. Clean and disinfect high-touch surfaces. For more information, please visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. Thank you.
I'd like to thank Blueberry for providing that PSA. I wish we had more entertaining PSAs. Someone out there, if you a voiceover artist, you don't have anything to do right now, put out some entertaining PSAs for podcasters. That would be a big help. Anyway, let's start with some DC Comics news. Production on Y the Last Man has stopped due to coronavirus. Kind of ironic, considering it takes place after a male apocalypse happens on the Earth. Coincidentally, the show has gained a cast member. According to the Deadline, Elliot Fletcher has joined as York's best friend, Sam. The character is described as, quote, Hero Brown's best friend and enabler. His background, he grew up in... Production on Y the Last Man might have stopped due to coronavirus. Kind of ironic, considering it takes place after a male apocalypse happened on the Earth. Coincidentally, the show has gained a cast member. According to Deadline, Elliot Fletcher has joined as York's best friend Sam. The character is described as, quote, Hero Brown's best friend and enabler. His background, he grew up in poverty with absent parents, has made him resourceful and resilient in the world where surviving men are greeted with suspicion or worse. Street smart, but occasionally self-destructive, he is wry and funny with a big heart, unquote. Now the show starring Barry Keoghan, has York is due out later this year. We hope. Another production closed due to COVID-19 is The Batman. Interestingly enough, originally it was going to continue filming, but with precautions. However, they halted it a few days ago as it was filming in London. However, there are a few tidbits to report on. Peter Sarsgaard on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert revealed that his character will be named Gil Colson and will be a shady Gotham politician. Which, aren't all Gotham politicians shady? And actor Jeffrey Wright, who is playing Jim Gordon in the movie, hinted at fans on Instagram that The Long Halloween is going to see some love in the movie, posting a pic of the trade paperback edition of the miniseries with the words, Another for the Culture. The Long Halloween was written and illustrated by the team of Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale, and takes place during the beginning of Batman's career as he tries to solve the mystery of the Holiday Killer. Maybe we should all go back and read that. Kind of sounds interesting. And it's not like we don't have a lot of time on our hands. Will Smith has a guilty conscience. The actor, speaking on his wife's Red Table Talk on Facebook, feels that he feels... Why did I stick this story in here? Anyway. Amazon 2 is... There's going to be a lot of edits in this show. Aquaman 2 is on the horizon, and in a now-deleted tweet by Aquaman 2 writer David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick, tweeted in response to a fan question that might point us at Black Manta. In response to a question about what would be a good comic book movie to read while being locked down, David responded, quote, good question. We're not taking any one particular comic book story and adapting it, but if you want to know the vibe we're going for, pick up pretty much any Silver Age story featuring Black Manta, unquote. So, if the hint is strong, it looks like Black Manta will be striking back against Aquaman in the sequel. Aquaman 2 is due in theaters in December of 2022. Now, even with the coronavirus stopping or delaying productions, and right now, DC's Black Adam is due to start filming this summer. Now, my guess is that's kind of up in the air right now. It may or may not. Of course, that doesn't mean that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson hasn't stopped training. As he posted in Instagram, quote, same game, different levels, same hell, different devils. Training for Black Adam where the devils may change, but hell still stays the same. Hashtag DC Universe, hashtag Black Adam. Shooting begins this summer. At John Braden Cruz, unquote. With a picture of him sweaty and working out. You know what would be more interesting? If he said he was no longer working out. That, my friends, would really be news. Black Adam is due in theaters in December of 2021. Now, while you're quarantining yourself, read a comic. Batman number 96 introduces us to a new villain, Clown Hunter. James Tynion IV introduced the character in his Tiny Onion newsletter, saying, quote, George and I just created a new character named Clown Hunter, who shows up in Batman number 96, part 2 of the Joker War. I am very, very, very excited about him and the absolutely brutal wrench he's going to throw into the mix of that story, unquote. Clown Hunter. I'm guessing he's not very fond of the Joker? Or circuses? You know, that might make a lot of us. Let's go on to the Marvel news. Now, let's start off with a couple of quick hits here. Productions have shut down on Loki and Shang-Chi due to the coronavirus, but we do have some news that's not COVID-19 related. Whew. With Damon Lindelof, done with HBO's Watchmen, he's looking for other pastures. Perhaps he could lend his craft to the Marvel brand. Speaking with Fandom.com, Damon said, quote, I think that doing something in the Marvel Universe, anywhere in the Marvel Universe, would be really potentially exciting for me, especially as they start to get a little bit more experimental. Some of the things that I've seen for WandaVision, for example, just feel like, okay, now we're getting somewhere, particularly in a television space, unquote. Now, he also told them that he wouldn't mind playing in the Star Wars sandbox either. And we, of course, covered that in the last sci-fi episode. Iron Man would have gotten strange if a scene had stayed into Infinity War. Kevin Smith on the Fat Man Beyond podcast confirmed that a scene with Doctor Strange in Iron Man's armor was shot. Mr. Smith knows this because he's seen a photo of it shot by screenwriters Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely. Quote, there's footage or a photo of Robert Downey Jr. wearing the cape that came out long before Infinity War came out. So we know they shot it. We know personally that they shot it because when the writers came and spoke to us at the house before they left, they were like, you want to see something? And they pulled out the phone and literally showed us. Not just the drawing, because that's what's going on around the internet. There's a drawing and it looks badass. But they showed us bleep in Sherlock in the Iron Man bleep suit man. Like wearing the suit with Tony standing next to him wearing the cape. And we were like, what the bleep? And they were like, we can't say, never talk about it. Then it's out in the world and I'm like, we saw that photo. It looked badass, unquote. That would be very interesting to see. I know that the artist rendering of it, and I've seen that, but I would love to actually see it. Come on, give us something. Zendaya has been confirmed to return for the third MCU Spider-Man movie. The actor Tom Holland recently revealed in an interview with the Philippine Daily Inquirer. The production is due to start in July in Atlanta. Here's a new book for you to pick up. Marvel has announced a new America Chavez limited series. The series, called America Chavez, Made in the USA, will be written by Kalinda Vasquez and will be drawn by Carlos Gomez. The series will showcase America's origins and powers and promises ripple effects for America and the world around her. Kalinda, in a statement, said, quote, "From the moment America Chavez was introduced into the Marvel Universe, I was a fan. It's such an honor to have the opportunity to tell an America story, and I couldn't be more excited to have been invited onto this project. Working with Sena Amnat, Annalise Bissa, and the rest of the editorial team at Marvel has been so fantastic, and I can't wait for the world to see the incredible artwork that Carlos Gomez has created for this book. In this series, America is going to be tested as she's never been tested before, and the challenges that she'll have to face will only force her to pull even deeper from that well of strength and ferocity that we know lies within her," unquote. America Chavez, Made in the USA, #1, comes out to stores in June. Now, let's go on to the geek news. Now, we'll start the geek news with the reschedule shuffle. Many Comic-Cons have either been forced to cancel or reschedule their shows because of the COVID-19 pandemic. One of the big ones has been the Emerald City Comic-Con, which was originally supposed to happen a few weeks ago, but was put on hold. Now it's been moved to August the 21st to the 23rd. Ticket exchanges for the new event are happening now. Now, I supposed it was only just, myself, I was supposed to be at Planet Comic-Con this past weekend, but it was also rescheduled and will now happen in August as well, the 14th through the 16th. Now, if you bought tickets, you already got an email, but if you didn't, just hit them up and see where it goes. Now, a decision was also made, a decision has not been made regarding Comic-Con International. San Diego, which is supposed to happen in this. Now, a decision that hasn't been made yet is one that regards the Comic-Con International San Diego, and that decision will not be made until June, according to the San Diego Union Tribune. Now, currently, the San Diego Convention Center has been temporarily turned into a homeless shelter during this COVID-19 outbreak. Now, currently, the con is scheduled for July 23rd to the 26th. Now, WonderCon, its sister show in Anaheim, was scheduled to take place next month. It's been delayed. So, whether San Diego Comic-Con actually happens is up in the air. Just kind of watch this space. Disney is releasing Onward early to digital. With the virus closing down movie theaters, the company will now make the Pixar movie with the talents of Tom Holland and Chris Pratt available to buy digitally now, and it will debut on Disney Plus on April the 3rd in the US. It's not the only movie to hurry up amid this crisis. Paramount will put Sonic the Hedgehog up for purchase on March 31st, months ahead of the physical release on May the 19th. Vin Diesel's Bloodshot will come out on March 24th, along with The Invisible Man, Emma, The Hunt, and Trolls World Tour. It's even been rumored that Wonder Woman 1984 might get the quickie digital release, but that rumor's kind of been shot down, so hold on. GameStop has decided in the wake of the pandemic to shutter its physical locations and switch to processing only digital orders. Physical stores will be offering a curbside pickup service or other e-commerce deliveries. GameStop will pay employees for the eliminated hours for the next 2 weeks based on the previous 10 weeks' average hours. Now, more to pile on, and I kind of alluded to this at the beginning of the show. Diamond Comics Distributors, which, if you don't know, is the company that distributes new comics to retailers across the United States and other places, has shut down. The company released a statement that said, quote, "As everyone knows, the world faces ever-increasing challenges related to the COVID-19 pandemic. Its effects on the comics and collectibles and tabletop gaming industries have been felt far and wide. We're hearing from thousands of retailers that they can no longer service their customers as they have had in the past, many of them forced to close by government action or resort to in-person or curbside delivery. Even those still open are seeing reduced foot traffic in many cases, a situation that seems likely to worsen with time. Our publishing partners are also faced with numerous issues in their supply chain, working with creators, printers, and increasing uncertainty when it comes to the production and delivery of products for us to distribute. Our freight networks are feeling the strain, and we are already experiencing delays while our distribution centers in New York, California, and Pennsylvania were all closed late last week. Our own home office in Maryland instituted a work-from-home policy, and experts say that we can expect further closures. Therefore, my only logical conclusion is to cease the distribution of new weekly products until there is a greater clarity on the progress made towards stemming the spread of this disease," unquote. Now, to put it succinctly, the company will not be sending any new product with a sale date of April for the foreseeable future until such time as this crisis passes. So here's what I need you to do. Support your local comic book shop. Pick up back issues. If you're feeling generous, hand them $50 to pay off someone else's back order, or ask for $50 in future credit. Buy some Funko Pops, games, anything else they have. Keep these stores in business. It's all up to you. These stores live on very thin profit margins, and this if this goes on as long as they say it's going to go on, this could completely wipe out comic book stores. They could go the way of record stores. Yeah, even though I know, records are now back in vogue, but I don't think comic books will see the same thing. Anyway, just go, keep these stores in business. It's all up to you. Now, that will bring us to the end of the comic book news. Be sure to check us out on social media. We're at Twitter at Multiverse Tom. We're also on Facebook and Instagram as well. And if you'd like to contribute some money to our cause, please visit mtpodcast.com to go to our Ko-fi, our Patreon, and now glow.fm as well. And just go to Multiverse Tonight and hit that support me link that's at the top of the page, and be sure to visit multiversetonight.com and check out the affiliate marketplace links, the link to our TeePublic store, and show notes, and so much more. And if you're a subscriber, be sure to share us with your friends, and if you're brand new to the show, please be sure to subscribe and leave me with some feedback. You want to. And let me know how we're doing. Now, special thanks to Shane Ivers for our intro music and Lobo Loco for our outro theme music. Thanks for watching the comic book edition of Multiverse Tonight. We'll be back in just 2 weeks with the sci-fi edition. Now, please, exit the universe in orderly fashion and get out, and shop at a comic book store. Good night. Multiverse Tonight is a production of Half Baked Genre Productions. Copyright 2020. All rights reserved.